What have you learnt from your audience feedback?
Before planning the teaser trailer, we asked a range of people about what they expected to see in a thriller film and what are the essential elements of thriller films. The feedback we received was very educational and affected our final outcome. Having a range of views on the different aspects of teaser trailers from real potential audiences has helped us to create a piece which could easily be viewed as a success. Audience feedback has helped us develop our final product stage by stage. We used social media such as Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, which helped us receive varying opinions and viewpoints. This included suggestions from all over the world. Whilst making the trailer, we asked people to view it and discuss with us what points or factors it was lacking.
Obviously someone's dead and they're interviewing this guy and he's obviously escaped, so they have to find him.
It kind of made sense for the storyline to have this kind of like investigator.
I like the pacing of it. Like I think there's especially at the beginning it was quite fast, which was really quite engaging. I like the music. Yeah, the music matches because when it was starting to go to a crescendo, near the end, you know, the screen was flashing and the shots were quite quick.
It was okay.
It was good. I thought it was good.
Did it add to the story?
Yeah, it made it much more clearer, in my opinion.
It's interesting.
Tone down the volume of what Florina was saying in terms of when she was asking those questions, because I found it quite loud and a bit distracting from the visuals. It went so fast that you couldn't really read what the review actually was and where it had come from, so I would say like an extra second on that. That's a bit long. I thought it was a nice length for a normal trailer, but if it's a teaser, I think teasers are meant to be quite short. 1 minute. Oh, in terms of the volume of what Florina was saying, I think it needs to be a little bit lower because it's quite, it sounds quite loud and it's a bit distracting.
During the creation of the ancillary text, which were the magazine and the poster, we faced a situation in which we had to choose between two different designs and concepts of the overall products. As both were similarly appealing, as a group we could not choose between them as easily. We inserted two of the images of the covers and asked which one looks better or more professional. This helped us decide on which one to include as an official magazine cover for our media product to be submitted in the other ancillary texts of the group. We also did the same for the poster as we made a final one and an alternative one to compare the two.
This was when we decided to include the audience into helping us make the decisions we were finding difficult, and created a mini survey on Facebook and Twitter, which allowed us to ask which design or a certain aspect of the magazine was more suitable to the conventions or simply the one they liked the best. This included approximately 30 people from our Facebook account and had them answer the question and the local public from one of the members' Twitter accounts. Not only did this help us gain feedback from people who are observing our work, but also gaining constructive criticism from honest people who have helped us decide on what they like rather than what we alone think looks better. Gaining feedback from other people is one of the most important aspects of attempting to improve or add on to our product, as we are taking into account other perspectives instead of our own biased views.
The comments that were included in the Facebook posts for both the magazine and poster were criticisms such as looking at other posters and magazine covers for inspiration, which also helped us to add on elements within the cover lines that we could not have considered with our own research. Image 1 shows the magazine cover without any of the cover lines, just a simple layout of the elements that were essential to include.
This has been inspired by our research for the magazine, which includes the famous contemporary magazine Sight and Sound, which also does not use many cover lines, if any at all. And this magazine inspired us to recreate a similar style.
Image 2 shows our original against the alternative poster. As you can see for the poster, the majority of comments like the original poster we created rather than the alternative one. This worked in our favour, as we did not need to dramatically change our ancillary texts.
However, after creating the magazine cover, we realised that there needed to be more content in order for our chosen audience to be attracted to it. Also, by including as much magazine cover terminology elements as we could, we were able to gain marks out of it, and it would attract the readers beyond the image of Tram Park as the main image.
Read through. This also goes for the poster, as Chime Park is the main image, and although people liked the poster, only a few things were altered, such as the fonts of the actors' names and the small text at the bottom of the poster that informs the audience about how they can find out more about the film.
This is when image 2 comes in, which clearly shows a lot more content than image 1. This is when image 2 comes in, which clearly shows a lot more content than image 1, and in my perspective looks much better than an emptier magazine cover, which could eliminate my chances of appealing to a larger demographic of audiences. In the comments section of the Facebook post, I had suggested from my followers to add in certain content that they thought would appeal to more people. I took this into account and used their advice as a pinpoint for starting a new and more full magazine cover which reveals more terminology.
It is clear that I have added a lot more content than the opposing cover. This includes a puff, which is a short phrase that is used to sell the name of the magazine, such as free tickets to sell New York City premiere, which will attract film lovers who are interested in these activities. I also added cover lines, and this helped to create the fuller effect within the magazine cover, and this was enough for a difference from my emptier version that gave off a contemporary feel instead of a mainstream one.
As for image 3, you can see a Twitter post that one of our members posted about gaining feedback on our final poster that we improved from the previous Facebook post. We attached the image and many people from the general public replied with qualitative feedback, and because of improvements I made on this one, no one commented improvement. The audience have contributed to giving us feedback in many ways, not just by suggesting which image looked better, but also constructively criticising the images and helping us to decide on which one to include as our final ancillary text. What we have learnt from the audience feedback is that they give an insight into perspectives other than our own, which shows that by considering other people's opinions and also to help us target our chosen audience effectively.